There is a purpose behind. The purpose is not to do this in a regularly basis. What
Yeah.
actually a lot of Westerners now, they're running from one Indio shaman to another one.
I also had my experience like different psychedelics, and it gave me certain realization, maybe revelations, but nothing really that would actually stay. After the trip ends, you come back to your own life, and you need to build your life from there onwards.
All these kind, if it is psilocybin, LSD, Bufo, Igoba, or even the Ayahuasca, are actually sacred things that people in ancient times using this.
People confuse a ritual and medication for lifestyle. On one hand, you have a lifestyle. If your medication becomes your lifestyle, it usually means that it's a form of an addiction.
For example, if you do the real sexual transmutation of your sexual energy, then you will develop that kind of protective shield where you can go outside to the world and all the negativities, they will bounce back.
If you have a lot of energy, a lot of things will resolve themselves. Okay, I have energy, so I can take action, I can do this, I can do that, do my work, I can complete things, and you have motivation through that.
Then you choose what to do. Well-being in the nature way, doing the Qigong part, doing the Neigong, doing different kind of martial art, doing exercise, the athletic programs, or do they choose the easy way to only put the needle into the body and get, I will say, addicted to these kind of synthetic testosterone injections?
And I think that in some cases, when you experience a good positive effect with these stimulants or psychedelics, it takes you to a certain level. But if you want to grow to an even higher level, then the Qigong practice actually comes to play a role.
You need to learn also and believe very strong in the potential of your own human body and the human potential in general. Back pain and so on, laziness, libido drops down, you have a beautiful woman next to you and you have no mood. That is actually an alarm signal where you need to think, how can I fight against this, deal against that?
Hello everyone, we are here with Grandmaster Jiang Yu Shan. It's good to have you here after a long while as well. I think people have been wishing for new material with you as well, and new content, new videos. So I hope this will do for you. We have an interesting subject, and I think very like a present also subject that is going on in the world is this kind of I would say like a trend of people. And I'm not saying like this is good or bad necessarily at least at this point, but people are trying to find solution to their problems by utilizing different sorts of drugs, mind-altering drugs, psychedelics, different type of external substances, and trying to find these like answers to, I'd say, a multitude of issues. It could be range from different type of mental issues, depression, to just lack of motivation, to even to understanding yourself better and just living a better like life quality. And researching into these DMT and marijuana and psilocybin mushrooms and all of this, and I feel like it's becoming like it has not only become like a big trend, but even a business. I think there's already like it's like $1 million business right now that is going on in the world. And I think me and Jiang Yu Shan, we want to look at this subject in maybe a new light and see if there are certain type of also alternatives into changing your mind and not just only relying on different type of external substances as well.
Yeah. First of all, nice to see you again.
Nice to see you as well.
And I welcome everybody who is joining our podcast. First of all, I like to say good day to all of you. For you and your family, I wish all the best. And I also like to say hello to the audience who are listening to our, I would say, small idea exchange, what we have. How I come to that kind of, I would say, topic is I'm already a middle-aged man, no? That everybody know. I'm over 50 years old, nearly 55, no? And I face significant problems. I will say not problems, but issues of my students who are actually reaching out for me from all over the world. some of the students, they actually, of course, they are very versed in the martial art, and some are very versed in different kind of healing and I would say treatment areas. And I discussed with them that their customers or even their clients also, they face these kind of hormonal changes and how to deal with this. And even that is one point. I'll start with one. That is the TRT. That is the testosterone replacement treatment, which people they are now thinking about to take these kind of, I will say, testosterone replacement treatment, TRT. And the big issue is for all of these, I will say, clients or uh, people, practitioners in the martial art or not in the martial art, when they start to taking these kind of things, they should know they should they always will depend on this kind of treatment. So when they one time start to take testosterone treatments, there that should be not only a short time run. No, it would become a long time, I would say, treatment as well.
I
So
think the longer you utilize them, the more more difficult it is to get away. Like if you use just a short term, maybe you can still recover, but if you use
no,
long term,
if you are a middle-aged man, your testosterone level already will dropping down. Yeah, whatever sport you're doing, you will always have a lower testosterone like a young person. So taking this kind of treatment will definitely boost up, of course, the
sure.
testosterone level and also the well-being of that person. People who are taking these testosterone treatments, they feel much more younger, they feel much more fresh, and that is also the side effect which actually people get addicted to that. If they don't feel like this anymore, they need more of this treatment. And when you start that kind of treatment, that is only for the long run. Even people, they are doing different kind of weightlifting, calisthenics, yoga, whatsoever. Yeah, it will always now be the trend where people use both of these kind of things. They will use the testosterone treatment, and they will also use different kind of exercises as well. In our Qigong course, the Lohan Gong, we were actually also providing a different kind of knowledge where we also can prove and see how the testosterone level will increase from each practitioner. That is for sure. Yeah. So that people, when they're a little bit overaged, like me, they still have a chance
Overage.
to, yes, come on, middle age, I would say, middle age, like me. Then they still have a chance to not get into this kind of testosterone treatment. Okay, but in the coming future, what I would see is that the trend is more going into that treatment in that testosterone, I would say injectable or orally taken treatment. That will be much more because people, they are much more lazy. Okay, they face that is an easier way, yeah, to build muscle. Even you don't train, you can still build a little bit muscles, no? And also you have a different well-being. And if you're, for example, a person with a kind of, I will say, erectile dysfunction, yeah, it will help also. But in the long run, you will totally, I will say, depend on this kind of treatment. And that is the danger, what I will say it out loud, for the people which in the future will face this kind of, I will say, they need to change, they need to choose what to do. Well-being in the nature way, doing the Qigong part, doing the Neigong, doing different kind of martial art, doing exercise, doing the athletic programs, what you provide and your company. That is all, I would say, that is all beneficial. Or do they choose the easy way to only put the needle into the body, and get, I will say, addicted to these kind of, I will say, synthetic testosterone injections?
I have to percent. Yeah, just want to say, like, I really agree with you on this one, and especially to the point that for sure, you can't deny that it works. Like you said, it will produce results for for yourself, for your body. You will notice the difference. But the answer is, what is the payoff? One, first of all, you will be dependent on them. Like you will always have this like a crutch, that you need to be utilizing. Sometimes either putting a needle into yourself, or it could be utilizing even drugs. And we don't even know like what is the effect, for example, of utilizing even psychedelics in the long term. Like if you just keep on utilizing them, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that there's no use for this, for example, but at the same time, people try to find the way, the solution that is still like you just ingest something and the change would miraculously happen. Whereas in reality, it just happens to be that you need to put a little bit of effort, do a certain kind of exercise, go out into nature, like do a certain action. Like performing in any kind of action will help, like any kind of training almost. But I think, for example, the possibilities with Qigong are a bit even stronger or even more powerful if we just talk about physical exercise, because it goes much further than that into the breathing, into the mind exercise as well.
You just said about the psychedelics. No? I
Yeah.
also face some friends and even some students. They're totally into that. Before I was totally like I'm an innocent person, I heard maybe from ayahuasca, but now there's the flood coming. It's not only ayahuasca. It called even a much more stronger one. That is the toad, the Bufo-toad. And
What is
then
Bufo-toad?
Bufo is a kind of toad. This
A
toad,
toad,
yeah,
frog. You mean?
the
Oh,
kind of
okay.
frog kind, yeah, which creates 5-MeO DMT. That is also a very, as we know now, a very strong psychedelic. Where people they are using this. All these kind, what I say, if it is psilocybin, if it is LSD, if it is Bufo, Igoba. No, there is even another root, the Igoba
Yeah.
root from Africa, or even the ayahuasca. All these kind of things are actually sacred things that people actually in ancient times using this. Okay, especially not the LSD, but these kind of DMT, I will say, chemical components. These are sacred things. Sacred things, like for example, the Indios, or the Indianas, no,
Indians, yeah.
they
Or
use
indigenous people.
I will say the original Americans, no,
Mm.
they use that. They use even that tobacco as a sacred thing. Even they give that as a sacred treatment to, as a gift for their best friends if they see each other. It is a sacred thing. And ayahuasca and bufo and igoba, all these kind of things, they were actually treated like in the shamanic way, very serious. And if you have the chance to make that kind of treatment, you are also a chosen one to get into that kind of ceremony. But in today's society, people with a little bit, I will say, negative experience in the Western world, people growing up in different kind of, I will say, because of our civilization in different kind of environments, no? they now diving into the ayahuasca. They're diving into the bufo. They're diving into the all these igoba and all these kind of I would say DMT and LSD, psilocybin. They're diving into these kind of I would say twister where they don't find themselves to go outside because they actually have a lot of people. It is they want to cleanse themselves, cleansing themselves from different kind of experiences, cleansing themselves from different kind of I will say uh, body diseases maybe, or psychological uh, friction what happened in
Like
their,
traumas.
yeah,
Or
for example, they like to cleansing themselves. It is a good way, I will say, but it becomes the trend that they regularly, if they don't have the ayahuasca ceremony, then they find the bufo ceremony. If they don't find, if that already is done, then they need them cleaning themselves again into another kind of LSD, DMT, whatever kind of ceremony, where they're always into a cleansing, where they already, I would say, make themselves a little bit not really clear when it should stop, when the cleansing actually is fulfilled. Because some people, for example, when I was young, I also cleansed myself. I was living alone. I was doing a diet. I was making my fasts. I was doing my Qigong, my practices, all these kind of meditations. And then when I go to the shopping mall, I was thinking paranoid. I would say self-paranoid thinking. I went to the outside world. I went to the to the shopping mall, and then I received that bad energy from this person and that negativity from that
Oh,
person, and I was coming back home and I said, "Oh no, I'm now dirty again. I get infected from their bad energies, and I need to cleanse again myself."
yeah.
There is a little truth in it, but not in that kind of big amount like other people are totally paranoid for that. If you are doing that cleansing, you can maintain your cleaning part and adding some different kind of other agents inside. A different other agent, for example, are the exercises. You're doing some body work exercise. You don't need to go to the gym and lift weights. That is nonsense. For me, that is good. You're going to the gym, but actually you do 2 hours lifting the weight in movements that actually you don't use these kind of movements because they're not practical in life. No? So you are using your whole body power movements, like what you also provide in your in your uh, in your programs inside, where actually every move and every exercise is actually very functional. Okay, but only by the way. And then you are also you can add the meditation, you can add the qigong, you can add the neigong, which helps you to maintain that clean of yourself, I would say, the pureness of yourself, the clarity of your mind, and the where you even can develop that kind of protective shield. You can develop that kind
Yeah.
of protective shield when you are doing different kind of exercises. For example, if you do the real sexual, I would say, transmutation of your sexual energy, then you will develop that kind of protective shield where you can go outside to the world and all the negativities, they will bounce back.
For sure, that's such a good point. If I mean, you mentioned, okay, people are uh, what is it, like taking energies from other people around you. So
Yes.
you have maybe some negative energy, and I think also even social media, there can be some negative influences coming to you. And in this one, I think a very important point is when we talk about this, for example, the sexual transmutation, which means that you do not have any sexual activity, basically, man or woman. So you're keeping your semen inside yourself. It's one of those actions where you don't do something. So a lot of, for these people who want to cleanse themselves, the idea is you take something in to cleanse yourself. You go to some ceremony, you do some rituals, or you digest other drugs or something. But I think it's one of the key elements, even in, for example, in the Grand Circle course that we have, the 100-day cycle. One of the key elements in that is taking things away from your life. Like, for example, as a very simple example. So if someone wants to lose weight, in the very heart of that, like if you go to the very like simplest thing which you have to do if you want to lose weight is to not do something. It's not doing something, but it's not doing something, which is not eating. You need to eat less. And in the 100-day cycle, you stop doing, for example, the masturbation, which means you're going to stop doing pornography, which means you stop getting these messages into your head, for example, from these videos that can be quite damaging, and you stop doing this kind of things with your body. At the same time, you take away alcohol, you take away stimulants. It's about reducing things from your life. I think this is one of the most biggest things when it comes to Qigong above other exercises is that it also focuses more on the lifestyle, and there's a certain philosophy underlying there that is like thousands of years old. Like these people realized this so like many years ago, that you really need to reduce things from your life. People don't understand that a lot of mental issues, problems they come from something that you are actually voluntarily putting into your life. It's not just the other people who you can't control, but you are putting substances into your body. You are watching too much certain type of entertainment from the internet. Like you are actively absorbing things with your body. And once you start to kind of fast yourself from these let's say stimulants, whether it's external or just visual, the healing process can really start to happen. But it will never happen by just taking one, I think, medicine or pill or whatever.
Yeah, no, we call that sacred medicine. No? I will call that sacred medicine because I also think, and I believe in that too, that these kind of sacred medicine, they have their purpose, and why these kind of ways and ceremonies are given to specific person. That is also, I will say, there is a purpose behind.
Yeah,
But the purpose is not to do this in a regularly basis. What actually a lot of Westerners now, they're running from one Indio shaman to another one, and or even they have countless of ayahuasca, bufo ceremonies. That is actually not necessary, because if you already went through this kind of ceremony, and you went through that kind of, I will say, 10 to 15 minutes trip, I would say, where you can see yourself, where you can feel in a different realm where you are, okay? Because it will have a big impact, because that DMT also have a connection point in your DNA inside. It is only waiting to get locked into, so that the human body can proceed these kind of things. They can have these kind of I would say sensations. That is good, but you need to learn also and believe very strong in the potential of your own human body and the human potential in general. That maybe can be a helper to find yourself, that you are only, and you are the only one responsible for yourself and for your I will say well-being. That is only in your own hands. It shouldn't be in different kind of medicines or ceremonies, that without these you can't exist. it is actually not how a lot of foreigners, Westerners, are thinking like this. Without the treatment, they feel, no, I have here some problems, have here some problems, and they continue and continue and continue. And I have a good friend of mine. He was doing this kind of treatment in combination with another very interesting route, in the South Americas. And he say he felt all these stagnations from his body, where he got this kind of, I would say, uncomfortable feelings in his body and in his face, and he felt a release because of this kind of ceremony, where he say, that was it. That is actually what he's looking for, and now it is done. Which now he say, it is a totally different future now. It is another milestone where he get over it, and now he doesn't need to depend on these kind of things anymore. Then he is only doing some different kind of, I would say, Qigong, Bagua Qigong, or even he learned the program of my, what is it called? What I also developed, this kind of mind exercising skill and master your mind program, where I teach these kind of real sexual transmutation methods, where people, they can have their sexuality, without losing their life force when they have an ejaculation. That is very interesting, huh?
Sure.
That the essence of life is still maintained in your body. And this is only because people are becoming conscious how to how to how to master their mind and your body in a certain way. And I think all these kind of psychedelics, I also tried. I need to I need to say that out loud. I tried that kind of uh, iboga root, and that is an African root. And one of my French student, I will call him like this. He was offering me this, and I tried it several times. It had no effect on me. I felt nothing actually happened. And
Wow.
I was talking to my other friend in Denmark, the uh, Mr. Henning. They were a very, very famous martial artist, also into the Indian philosophy and also different kind of uh, versed in different kind of ceremonies. He said, "Yeah, Master Jiang, that is because you're working already so many years in different kind of qigong, and you clean your body already. And when you take something like this, where it is already clean, there is no effect for that, because my mind and my what I already went through meditation and different kind of Daoin qigong practice. I went through a lot of different kind of sensations in my life during that kind of practice, and that kind of iboga root didn't have any effect on me. And
Yeah.
I will say, okay, should I try the ayahuasca? Should I try the bufo? Yeah, I have actually access to a very good uh, shamanic master, or I will say um, Indio master there. I have also a very good, I will say, uh, Bufo, I will say high quality, clean Bufo extract. But I was thinking, I shouldn't do that, because I don't need that. I feel for myself that I don't need that. I'm not actually interested in these kind of things, because I think how I practice and how I live my life, it's actually quite okay.
Yeah. But that
Yeah,
is so well
and
because the
it
more
helps
higher,
me.
yeah, the higher level you are in your life, and the more you have tools to take care of yourself without any stuff, the less like you are to get addicted. Like you said, you barely felt the difference. And I think there are also other people who, if you take a certain drug, and if you are just a healthy person, you have a healthy mind, you don't suffer from depression or something like this way, and you take a drug, it's not going to make as big of an impact as if someone with a real like depression or alcoholism or like problems will take it, because for them it's like a life changing, because for the first time ever you feel some kind of bliss and happiness. But if you are like let's let's say enlightened, like a qigong master, maybe not enlightened but just a high level master, and you already have so many ways of actually making yourself feel good without any kind of substance, there's much less value. But I just want to go back a little bit to the fact where you said these are sacred substances, and I will agree really on the fact that these, like if you use this as a medication, I think it's fine, like real, but people confuse a ritual and medication for lifestyle. So on one hand, you have a lifestyle. If your medication becomes your lifestyle, it means that it's a form of an addiction. So I've also heard a lot of anecdotes, people utilizing these mushrooms and other stuff, and for example, they say, okay, they used maybe 1 or 2 times, and then they actually, like, they never used after that, and they felt better. Maybe it cured something in them. So this is for sure, I believe that they can have this kind of effect.
Mm.
And you also said, one of your friends had the ceremony, and that's it. You don't need any more of that. Now you can actually live your life. So you just need to be careful that I think the psychedelics don't become the main purpose in your life. Use them as a medicine or as a tool to get maybe past some really difficult issue if you have to. But after that, it's really up to you what you're going to do with your life and what kind of techniques and tools you gather, Qigong exercises or other form of exercises, breathing exercises, and just lifestyle habits and nutrition habits that actually sustain your life instead of relying. Like, what if you didn't have access to ayahuasca or to the mushrooms or whatever? Like, what if you don't have access?
Okay.
Are you going to give up just on that? You need to
No.
find alternatives, right?
When you say lifestyle and taking substances, I only immediately come into my mind, oh, what a pity that a beautiful martial art, what we have in today's generation, is the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. But now when you hear BJJ, you at the same time BJJ and weed.
Weed.
And that is a pity, because it becomes like they belong together. It's a lifestyle to have to train BJJ on one hand, doing something that is very beautiful, and in the same time be addicted to weed, or even smoke a pipe and then go to the BJJ class. I had one time a student when I was teaching in Germany, in Berlin. I have a young boy. He was about, I would say, 17. He came to my class. I was looking at him. I think, no, he is totally stoned. Okay, because I can talk from experience. Okay, yeah. So because I also went through a lot of things when I was young, and I know exactly. I have a student. He's stoned. What should I do with him in today's class? You know how many somersaults and cartwheels we have done in that class, especially only for him? And that was actually after that. I told him, "How do you feel? Did you want to smoke again and come to my class?" He said, "No, master. I feel that he was damaged." Okay.
No.
Yeah, because I make a lot of acrobatics.
So you create like a lesson, kind of like
but everybody is training, but especially actually I was only focusing on him, because he was so stoned. After that he vomited, and then he was lying there, and we need to revive him, I will say, in a good way. That was a big lesson for that 17 years old man, young man, I would say. And after that, never again. It was like that was a lesson, a cure, and where he was thanking me after that, because many years after, I received an email that he become a doctor.
Wow.
The perfect. Yeah. And for me, it was like, good. And he told me exactly, do you remember when I come to class? I say, yes, like this, we have a chit chat on the internet, via email. And he was thanking me that actually that was a big lesson for his life. And he changed completely. Only the small things. But what I want to say is, lifestyle is one thing. The people, for example, all the entrepreneurs, they're earning and working very, very hard, and they're also in the other way, they party very hard. Okay.
Yeah.
And sometimes people, and especially in today's society, the new age of entrepreneurs, they also take very good care of their health. And they are also the ones who do a lot of these kind of ayahuasca and different kind of treatments. They're also these kind of people. They take, on the one thing is they take care of their health, and on the other thing is, okay, they take care of their health. They eat, they have a vegetarian meal. They take care that they don't eat. If they don't have a vegetarian meal, they take care that they don't eat pork. There is nothing about they are Muslims or not. It doesn't matter. But they don't want to eat pork. They eat only good vegetables and so on and so on. But on the other hand, they jump from one ceremony to the other. Okay. And for me, that is still a medicine, and a medicine is also a kind of poison.
It's about the dose.
And this is what you accept. That is a contradiction.
Contradictory. Yeah.
That is a totally contradiction. On one hand, I don't eat this, I don't eat that. I'm vegan. I'm here. I'm doing, everything like this. Yeah. And I take this supplements and that and chilachit and this and that and this. And on the other hand, they go to the ceremonies one after another. So that is actually also poisoning themselves. No? For me, for example, that needs to stop. People, they need to calm themselves down back again. They should look into themselves. They should also look into the other ways, into the meditation, into the breathing, into
Yeah.
different kind of martial art, and into the different kind of body weight training. They don't need to go to the gym. For me, it's the most nonsense. Yeah, if you're not bodybuilder, don't do that. Yeah, yeah. And then when you are in that fitness club, you get in touch with steroids, anabol, and androgen, and then the misuse start. Yeah,
Mm.
for young people, they are young, like different kind of I would say celebrities on the internet, not even 23 years old, Sam Sulek like this, yeah, and already injected with all what is possible to get. Of
Mm.
course, they do the hard work, but you also, in one thing, you eat good, you do that good, you train good, and the other thing, you poison yourself with these kind of
Yeah.
supplements.
It's
That is
curious.
always a contradiction, and people, they should actually bring them back to the root
Mm.
of the power lies in yourself.
Oh yeah.
Breathing techniques is one of the most important ones, and the breath of mental power is only the beginning.
It's only the beginning and it's still
Is
incredibly powerful. I think it's still
is
one of the most powerful things we learned from you, and it's in the
is
course.
only the beginning.
Yeah.
It is only the beginning. There are so many good programs which is presented by us,
Mm.
which actually help these kind of people, special entrepreneurs, that they can fight against the
Yeah.
burnout syndrome because they work too much. They burn themselves out.
Mm. But
That
I like
can
that you
help
mentioned.
them to calm down the mind, bring balance in their, I would say, yin yang, yeah, the Tai Chi symbol, bring balance in their lifestyle that they can work hard. They can also enjoy their life after they're
Oh
working
yeah.
hard. That
Yeah,
is
I think
also very important.
yeah, if you mentioned this, like entrepreneurs who clearly they understand if they have like they're successful in business that they need to do some work to get their business running, and they need to take maybe some risk, and they need to put some effort into actually growing their business. But when it comes to growing really like more mentally and developing your mind, somehow it doesn't click. Like they think it would be the same as if I was an entrepreneur and I think that there would be a pill that would build my business. But it doesn't really happen like that. It's the same way as you're building business, as you're also growing just inside yourself, that there are things that you actually need to do. Something have a certain, I'd say, that you devote yourself, for example, into like these routines that you can maybe have. And like you said, the Qigong exercise and the breathing, like people do not understand just how much they actually have power over themselves. And this has been even scientifically proven that just by having, your posture a little bit different, smiling,
Mm.
smiling or looking up and like walking in the sunshine, getting vitamin D, like this is scientifically proven that this will change, for example, your hormones, and it can change like your neurotransmitters just by certain body postures. And you think about qigong body postures and the stretching. What I can tell, for example, from my own experience with if I feel sometimes like, let's say, I just feel bad. I feel maybe like even I feel tension in myself,
Mm.
anxiety. And it's very often is I feel tight. Something's tight in my body, maybe without even realizing that it is so. But my circulation is also compromised. Things are not flowing in my body. Maybe I've even not eaten in the optimal way. And then when you do, like for example, the Buddhist Qigong form, where you're stretching like in so many, like I'd say, multifaceted body postures that involve, all these meridians in your body in these different postures, and you add the breathing, and you're actually literally opening up the body. It makes a huge impact. It's not magical. It's simply that your body is kind of stuck. You have a lot of tension, and when you move and you stretch your body while you're moving, and you open up the whole breathing capacity with the breath of mental power, it's just the difference is like between a day and night, and I've experienced this many times. Just get your body flowing. It's very difficult to be depressed if you're moving and if your body actually functions.
Yeah, look,
For instance,
for example, you just said you stiff here and you stiff there and you want to move again. That is also what I face now in
Mhm.
my I would say in my teachings, that I have some people, some students there. They are asking me, uh, what can I do against laziness? What can I do against stiffness in the neck, in the lumbar area? And for me, I feel that is not only you are the only one. There is a complete of symptoms, what is coming around in our circle, in our life circle, where people have the same symptoms. And the symptoms, I will tell you, is stomach problems. They can't have good digestion. They have constipation, for example. Constipation doesn't mean you can't go to toilet. Maybe you need to go to toilet several times per day. That
Yeah,
is
yeah.
that is one thing. The other one is you have back pain. You have heaviness in your head. You are very tired, and you have mood swings. You're lazy. And at sixth, your libido is totally pressed down. This is what we face now in our generation. It could be a coincidence, but some people, not only me, is thinking that we are also get a big influence of the, I will say, 5G environment, what we are
Mhm.
now living in, yeah, that these things are also symptoms that we are suffer from. If you are having these kind of symptoms, back pain and so on, laziness, libido drops down, you have a beautiful woman next to you and you have no mood, that there is nothing going on both sides, that is actually an alarm signal where you need to think, how can I fight against this? How can I
Yeah,
deal with against that? How can I cure myself against these kind of, I would say, electromagnetic waves or vibrations or whatsoever they are putting in our atmosphere? How we can face like this? If we notice that, we need to deal with that immediately. And immediately means you need to stand up and do and move your body. Move your body. And the most important is when you are lazy, that means you are a lot of lacking of ambition and will. You know how to build up your will, how to build up that kind of willpower. Breathing technique, meditation, Qigong, Neigong is the helper and the medicine for these kind of symptoms.
100%.
And
Yeah.
when you are doing these, when you already analyze what is actually going on, you can fight against that in different ways. And one of the different ways is, for example, be active, don't stand still, and breathe. You need to use the breathing. Even look at me, I'm very tired because the time difference is totally.
Mm.
I already look. My eyes are red. I'm tired, but
What is it there? It's like
yeah,
8, 9.
yeah. But if you're already awake since 5 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah, yeah,
that
it's
is,
8. That's
you
what I
know,
meant.
okay, because I'm not resting the complete day. I'm from the 4:30. I start to wake up. 5 o'clock. I'm busy in my garden. There needs to water and all the flowers and all the plants what I have here.
Mm.
Yeah, and then the day starts actually step by step, and we are facing now a typhoon. I need to prepare a lot of things on my yard and on my garden, on my small range, what I have. Yeah. And that's why I'm so tired. But the thing is, when you notice this, you need to be active and you need to ignite your fire in your body. And how to ignite your fire? By doing the correct exercises. Awake the warrior spirit in yourself. Collect all the powers, what you are able to when you are practicing the Lohan Gong. When you are
Mm.
practicing the monkey warrior Qigong, that is actually the powerful one, where you are you're fighting against an imaginary opponent. And at the same time, you're doing the stretching, you're doing the breathing, you're doing the contracting and releasing of your powers, the muscle tension, the
Yeah.
relaxation, all is into one. Only because you want to fight against the stiffness in your neck, in your lower back. You want to work on your metabolism, that because you are active in that movement, and then you can have a better not only mental state, also you will have a better physical situation in your life.
Yeah.
That is so important. People, don't forget to learn this. I only can urge all of you, the audience, you need to learn these kind of things.
There you go.
You need to have these kind of things. This is actually, I only can urge you, that is gold what we have putting outside. Even people, they're crying, oh, I don't have the money for this. There is a way where you can purchase these kind of things. The Eero and the Samali, they give the opportunity that you can pay that step by step. And you if you are more interested, you can join different kind of, I will say, programs. All is there. I need to urge you, for the audience, they need to know this, that is actually a helper in the daily life.
Yeah,
Okay?
exactly.
I only can say that, and I want to open somebody's head like this and put all the knowledge like garbage can, put all in, yeah, and then
Yeah.
close everything. That is actually what I like to do.
Yeah, because you want to make people realize that this is possible. Like it's somehow, it's almost like too simple, to the entire thing, and people just still like sitting around telling themselves I know people who tell themselves there's nothing I can do. I just too depressed. I just can't. Like people are telling these things to themselves without realizing that the answer is within themselves, right there, like accessible immediately. And it can start from very little. You explained so many different things there, the word Qigong stuff, grand circle, the stretching. You can start by just literally like standing. The standing meditation, for example, requires all you do is stand still in these certain postures. If you don't have energy to go for a walk, go to the gym, start by doing standing. There's an actual method which only through standing you can elevate your levels. I always talk about usually grand circle with you because I think it's one of the most powerful methods, because I have personally used it so many times when I've been like, I don't have like energy or something. And I think oftentimes the mental issues and depression and everything, they feel so much worse because you don't have energy. If you have a lot of energy, a lot of things will resolve themselves because you just feel like, okay, I have energy, so I can take action. I can do this, I can do that, I can do my work, I can complete things, and you have motivation through that. And this is why also Qigong, in some ways, it's really in the heart of this, because Qigong is about cultivating energy. It's about increasing energy, and not through any kind of stimulants. So like when I feel sometimes I'm in a moment, I don't have energy. And I think but your average person would be like, okay, I'll just have a coffee, or I have some stimulants or tea or whatever, or just don't do anything. But I know already that I can do this kind of practice and elevate my energy levels. Like, and I can elevate the entire mode of my being through doing this practice. That's a really powerful thing. And I just, like what you said, you just want to pour that to the people's head, that they realize that even if you didn't do that, but there is tools, there are power where you are in control. You don't need anything from the outside. You can really do this practice, and you have massive like power over how you're feeling and the well state of your entire being.
Okay, if you are like a very busy person, like what we see in the internet, like these kind of Tate brothers, what we see that they drink coffee 15 or 13, I don't
Yeah,
know,
and nicotine
uh,
constantly.
uh, the coffee, the Red Bull, and all
Cigars.
cigarettes. I don't know. Yeah, I only see people there smoking cigars, and
Yeah, cigar.
but cigar. We come when I say cigar, then we come to the sacred tobacco. And that is really a little bit a different thing. There must be very careful. Cigarettes in general, when you inhale and exhale, is actually the wrong way how to use the tobacco, actually. But I mean these kind of stimulants like Red Bull and coffee and tea in masses, not in a normally level, in masses, that is already wrong. The same like, for example, the people, they're already, what I just said, doing this kind of ceremonies, DMT, 5-MeO, and so on. They should use that in addition to their Qigong practice. The result will be, I only believe it will be tremendous. It will be greater. They will have more result in that, because that is the sacred medicine, the ceremony, and then is the cultivation of your own self. Where actually, when you are in a different level, you can recall that kind of sensation through meditation. You can recall these kind of, I would say, hormones, what you have, if it is adrenaline or what kind of different kind of hormones you can develop in your body only by thinking of it. You know, when you think about a lemon juice, you immediately, only by thinking, you immediately have saliva, and or only you're smelling the lemon and you have saliva, and only thinking about that, you can recall that sensation, and that is the same thing. You can, because your body already know how it was. And if the body know and your mind knows, your conscious mind can recall that, and you can tap then into the subconscious, where
and this is a really real thing, because this is how placebo also works. And I, for example, I heard about some study which they did with some microdosing. I think it was psilocybin or something, and they had a placebo group who didn't take any drugs, and the group who did take the drugs, they had the same impact. The other group didn't take anything, but they had the same effect in their minds. So it's exactly what you're talking about. If you really believe into something, you think about it, the effect will happen in the body. It's unbelievable.
That is the power of the mind. I made a program which I called the Mastering the Mind program, in 2 sessions. I did a webinar for that, and where I teach step by step how you can develop not only your breath, you can develop your power of your imagination in a systematically way. That you really, from a personal, I can't imagine, I can't do this, where you systematically learn how to do that, how to use your mind over body, and how to use your mind into your energy, and the energy can move the body. That is the mind mastering program, what I have already done. I made this, and it have part 1 and part 2. But this you can see in my personal website inside, that you need to have also a look into it, where I in detail will teach these kind of things. Where you develop that kind of imagination, how to develop your mental focus, how to develop also in breathing, with your breathing patterns, how to develop your mind in a stronger way, where you can develop your strong and tremendous willpower. That is also very important, because if there's no willpower, you can't achieve anything. You can't even get out of your bed if you don't say, "Come on, stand up," by yourself. Even before the alarm clock is ringing, you're already awake. And that is the difference between the people who are successful and the people they achieve nothing. And if you want to be a person with a small or a big achievement, you need to move yourself. You need to develop that kind of willpower. And when you know how to breathe correctly and I will say in a proper way, then you can fight also fear, which is actually a big hindering problem in your further ongoing in your life. Because when you always think, oh, that people think about me like this way, and oh, what can I do? I can't do that. That fear is building up by yourself, and how to conquer that kind of fear, how to master fear. That is also a big part. And all these kind of breathing techniques, exercises, in different ways, like you teach, I teach, that is already a very big helper.
It is, and I think you talk about, for example, at one point the 5G, and I think it doesn't matter if it's 5G or the environmental pollution, or if it's the like the entertainment that we're watching, something that's robbing you of dopamine. Like it can be any, like modern day is filled with things that are threatening you, like something that attack you and try to steal your attention, try to steal your energy. Like we are surrounded by these things today. That's just a fact, but it doesn't mean that we are completely like armless, or how to say, like defenseless. Like we can develop or build ourselves to become strong. This happens through this kind of physical training, breathing exercise, becoming more conscious of your mind, becoming conscious of what you're actually digesting from your environment. We cannot avoid we live in the modern world, so it's gonna come upon us. But there are ways through which you can really grow above it. And just going a little bit back to the psychedelics as well, because I also had my experience like over 10 years ago with different psychedelics, and this is it can be a really strong like an effect that it can have. But for example, in my experience, it gave me certain realization, maybe revelations, but nothing really that would actually stay. So after the thing ends, the trip ends, you come back to your own life, and you need to build your life from there onwards. So this is just how it is. And I think that in some cases, when you experience a good positive effect with these stimulants or psychedelics, it takes you to a certain level. But if you want to grow even to an even higher level, then the Qigong practice actually comes to play a role. I think Qigong is one of the ways that takes you even on a higher level. So it's not just that you maybe get rid of your depression or you become active, but you can actually raise on a really high level. Like you can like build yourself, make something really meaningful with your life, by at least help to achieve things with your life when you're doing Qigong.
I have also a request from the Muslim community. Yeah. And they are asking me, oh, Master Jiang, I'm a Muslim. Can I practice Buddhist Qigong? Is that against my belief when I practice this? What can I do? How is the answer? And I only can say, in our today's society, where the people they are craving to have a implant chip in their brain to become more developed and more with more abilities and potential. Why you don't want to first learn how to breathe very well and be human at first place, where you discover the full power of the human potential. And we already know that we are actually not using our brain potential, that and the subconscious is so deep and so even for the scientists, they have no clue how to tap into that and understand what is the difference between the soul and the mind, how to measure that. Okay, that there's a brain and give some electric impulses, that is clear. But what is the mind and what is the soul? Where it is actually, where is the residence of that? But even when we want to be so superhuman, we should first learn what all the knowledges from different cultures are giving to us, because there is only one truth. And these truths have different languages. And if you are a Muslim, why you shouldn't practice breathing Qigong techniques? You can omit the Buddhistic mantras. You can instead call your surahs or recitation from the Quran. Because even these kind of intonation of different kind of surah, what is called in the
Yeah.
Muslimic way, no? Or even the mantra in the, I will say, in the Sanskrit way, that is actually only intonation with breathing and sound. Inhaling and breathing, saying the words of the God and the angels and the holy texts is all incorporated in inhaling and exhaling. And that is the sound, the frequency, what we are self-creating. And through intonation, we create vibration in
Mm.
not only in our brain, in our head, also through our body, which can help to heal ourselves.
What is intonation?
Intonation is, for example, if you say different kind of vocals. If you say
Okay.
the ah, the o, the e, the u,
Ooh,
all these kind, this is
mm,
this is, for example, also what I'm teaching in my mastermind program inside, that
mm.
each sound has its organ, where it is
Oh, yeah.
related to each sound, and through intonation and saying these different kind of sounds, you can vibrate you give in vibration into your internal organs, into your head, into your pineal gland, where you actually create vibrations that actually the nerves, they are recalling again, like that.
Mm.
That is actually through sound. That's why the words in the Christian or in the Gnostic way, the hallelujah, that is a very powerful word. The different kind of Quran recitations, that is a different kind of Qigong exercise. The different mantras, what you hear in the Sanskrit way, that is also a different kind of breathing techniques with vibration and frequency. And here we have it. We have energy, we have we have vibration, and we have the frequency, what we can create only by our own.
Oh, yeah.
We don't need things, actually. We only need to
Yeah.
understand that we inhibit already all the knowledge which are the ancient already give it to us. That's why our people, we say we are made in the image of God, because we also have these kind of abilities. We are a
Yeah. I think
part
people
of
should,
it.
yeah, people should realize that, I am a Christian. I consider myself as a Christian. I read the Bible and so on, but I don't see it as being a contradiction to practicing, Qigong. And I think people need to realize that this Christianity or even Islam, it also contains, I think, a lot of guidance in how you can also guard yourself from different things that are going around nowadays. It's not like you can combine both of those. I think Islam and for example Christianity, it contains a lot of this sort of like a mental aspect. It doesn't have like physical exercises necessarily, except for fasting. Fasting is incredibly powerful also method. It's part of Qigong, it's part of Islam, it's part of also Christianity. So they don't need to go into a fight to like fight together. And like you said, you can omit things. You don't need to recite Buddhist mantras in your head. You can, recite your own prayers, whatever you want. You don't need to take it to that level. So I think I don't see the contradiction into practicing, normal, regular human abilities. Like you said, the breathing, movement. This is not something that will
The kung
go
fu
against.
in general, the Shaolin kung
Yeah,
fu, you can
in general.
practice too. That is for sure. You can take the knowledge which is given from the Almighty, from
Yeah.
that source. It is only in a different country, and you take that knowledge, and that is the purpose of your being. Accumulate as much knowledge as you can. Even
Mm.
if you are Muslim, the first, what my uncle told me in my family, we are very, very, I would say, a very strict family. He say, learn everything what you can get. That is your mission, whatever it is. So I was into the Buddhism. I was into the Taoism. I was into the Hinduism. I was I was born in a Christian country like Germany,
Mm.
and I learned all these kind of things, and then I find my own way, because for me, religion is a personal thing. I don't need to tell somebody who and what I'm praying for. Okay, but the thing is that our mission is to accumulate as much knowledge from which source actually it comes. It doesn't matter. That is our responsibility as a human. And
It's a great.
if there is a flood of information coming to you, welcome it, take it, learn it, give it to the next generation. And that's why, look, that's why we are doing these kind of tutorials and all these kind of things. But actually, I had the idea of retiring. I'm about to closing my school in Tainan City. It is
Oh wow.
until this September, and then it's done. I'm closing because I already said I want to retire. I don't want to teach anymore. Only for the people they really want to learn. They can come in my facility here, what I built here,
Ranch.
and yeah, it's my small ashram here, yeah. Uh, and they can live here. They can work in the garden, and they can also learn some martial art and other practices as well. And only if I do some tutorial and I present something in the internet, it is only by my own free will. I don't need to force somebody to take this, but I only can advise. It is a big helper in your life. And that is for today. I like to finish with that sentence. We did a tremendous work of art, and I still call that the gold
Gold edition or
the gold edition. Yeah, I for myself I keep the diamond edition, but it is still there. Yeah, and we should have the chance to provide that to a bigger audience, and that is the people who is and want to develop themselves for a better version of themselves, of course, and also become successful in their striving, in their art, in their lifestyle, in their business, in their whatsoever. Okay, and religion shouldn't be a hindrance for that.
no.
That is shouldn't be, and the dogmatic thinking especially shouldn't be accepted by anyone who is conscious thinking.
You're
Okay.
free to explore and
Yes.
take a look at yourself. You need to make your own decisions. That's one of the things this is about.
Yes.
Become a sovereign being. And yeah, I think this is a great point to end. I really want to thank you for this call. I think this has a lot of my cat is asking to escape the room. It's time to finish. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one. Stay strong.